Hi, Western. I'm Jacqueline Carbone here with Leni Lambrink, two of your news reporters for Western TV.
Today we're sitting down with Sophie Helpard and Jack Litchfield, the two presidential candidates of this year's USC election. All right, so my first question for you, actually, pretty simple one. Just wondering, what does it feel like to be running?
You know what? It's a fantastic experience. There's nothing really like it. I love the opportunity to get out there, talk to thousands of students. It can definitely be taxing, but it's totally worth it. It's just phenomenal.
So what's it been like running this year?
It's been a great experience. What I've been saying to people is that it's great to see support and it's great to see people out getting involved. But the most surprising and the best part has been the amount of students who just come up to the booth and say, I have no idea what's going on. Can you tell me something? And in my heart of hearts, I hoped that would happen. And I wasn't sure if it was actually going to, but it's nice to see that there's a lot of students trying to get engaged.
On campus before, we've had Victoria's Secret come onto campus and promote things, and then we've also had Sugar Crisp doing the same thing, but then we've also had partnerships with Labatt doing internships with students. And one of the things that you spoke about or have written about in your platform is partnering with for-profit organizations, and framed by those 2-3 examples, just kind of what sort of partnerships are you considering?
Sure. Okay. So one thing that I'd like to bring to reference for that would be the Beer Fest we did this year. It was a phenomenal event. We had about 800 students come out to that, and all the proceeds went to charity because the actual merchandise being consumed by students was paid for with the marketing budgets of those beer companies. So you get huge student benefit, proceeds to charity, and no student dollars being consumed from the programming budgets to deliver something like that. So I'm looking at doing a couple of events like that, leveraging companies' marketing budgets to give students good experiences without spending their dollars.
Much of your platform is advocacy-based. Why did you decide to take this direction, and what do you have to say to students who think or who are worried that you might not be able to live up to some things you've made in your platform to the larger city and to the Western community?
Yeah, so I would disagree that it's mainly advocacy points. I actually think we've struck a very nice balance between, like I was saying earlier, things that we can do, initiatives we can take right away, and then things that we need to ask for. But I do think this is the job. This is what we want to be doing with this campaign. So we need to show that in what our platform represents. I think the important thing to note is that even though there are a lot of points on advocacy, the points that we've placed are well thought out. They're researched. We know they're feasible. We know they can happen. And so advocacy isn't a dirty word of they can't happen. Advocacy means that I can't make a decision and it can't happen on the first day that I get into office if elected. But it does mean that it's things we can work on.
One of the things in your platform spoke about having a Student of the Month award.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we were just wondering, there's a lot of different kinds of students on campus, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some people who can really juggle a lot of extracurriculars along with their classes, and they can handle that all right. But then there's other students who, for sake of mental health, they have to balance a little bit less, and we don't think that makes them any less of a student.
Right.
So we were just wondering how you would navigate that kind of bias in terms of choosing a Student of the Month.
What we were focusing on there is giving students recognition for things that they do within their programs. So that would be, highlighting a campus musician who's got some cool music coming out, highlighting a science student that did an interesting research project, just giving students more platforms to get recognition that can help them when they leave university.
What are your concrete plans to increase awareness or mental health capacities at Western?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is that we, of course, as not only people that are running for these positions, but just as students, recognize that the existing services we have aren't properly servicing the people here at Western. And so there will always be more push to improve the services we have. And just because we didn't include it on the platform, we wanted to keep it pretty concise. We didn't include a lot of those other points. However, the initiatives that you'll see on the platform directly affecting students are the mental health map on OWL to make resources more available and more accessible. They are trying to fix policies like the 3 and 23 exam policy, introducing an exam policy for accommodation on the grounds of mental health. We think these are changes that can directly affect students.
Both slates have strong platform points, but ultimately it's up to you to decide who you want to represent you as your USC council for next year.
Polls will be open on Tuesday, February the 10th at 8 a.m., and they will close at 8 p.m. the following day, which is Wednesday, February the 11th. For Western TV, I'm Leni Lambrink.
And I'm Jacqueline Carbone.